Hi, this is Peter McLaughlin, and today I want to talk about your imagination. And I want to talk about it specifically with how it relates to doing a past life regression. So over and over again, I do hear people who write into my various videos on past life regression, maybe even meeting their spirit guide, that they feel like they might just be making it all up. And I think that this is a really important point, because on some level, as soon as you imagine something, it actually becomes real. So let me give you some examples. You can imagine lifting weights, and at the end of a scientific study, you can find out that the people who merely imagined they were lifting weights actually improved their strength and their muscle mass. This was done by a place called Bishop's University, and it was also done by the Cleveland Clinic. And these numbers, although they can vary widely, of course, in any scientific study, in one of them they showed that people who actually lifted weights over a period of time increased their strength by 28%. The control group, predictably, had a 0% increase in their strength. But the people who just imagined it improved their strength by 24%. So when you're questioning yourself about doing a past life regression, am I just making all of this up? It almost doesn't matter. Because the people who were just imagining lifting weights actually had a tangible or a physical response to that that's measurable. So ask anyone you want to if imagining lifting weights is real or if it's fake. And I pretty much guarantee you they're going to tell you that it's fake. Now ask the same person or ask the same people if you measure your strength or your muscle mass on February 1st and you measure it again on March 1st and you see a measurable increase in that strength and that muscle mass. Is that real or is that fake? Every one of them would say it's real. So here's the question. How does something fake, the imagination, create something real? The measurable increase in muscle mass, the measurable increase in strength? And the answer is it can't. Something fake cannot create something real. A fake seed cannot create a real tree. And therefore, as far as I can tell, the imagination has to be real because it's producing real results. And we see the exact same thing in the placebo effect. 33 to 70% of the effectiveness, depending on the study you look at, of any drug can be attributed back to the placebo effect, which has been studied over and over and over and over again. And this is where someone takes a pill, which later turns out to have an inert substance in it, and the act of taking that pill creates a measurable physiological change in that person. And here's the thing. We live in this culture that has rigorously shoved us into this tiny little box that defines reality by your 5 physical senses. And if you were to investigate what percentage does visible light, the portion of the light spectrum that you can see with your eyes, what percentage is visible light relative to the whole spectrum? The answer to that question is remarkable, and it really begins to literally and figuratively open your eyes. The answer to that question of what we can see is 0.0035%. Almost nothing. So in Hamlet, Shakespeare has Hamlet, the character, say, I'm going to paraphrase, "I will bind myself inside a walnut shell and call myself master of my universe." We have, since birth, had the playing field defined for us, the rules defined for us in such a narrow way as to cause us to preclude other kinds of information, other kinds of data. You know, in our culture, we say things like, seeing is believing. Yeah, it's seeing is believing 0.0035% of the light spectrum. We say things like it's all in your head. It's just a dream. It's only your imagination. And the crazy thing is that everything that we produce as human beings has to be created twice. It has to be created in the mind of someone before it can become a physical reality. as I established before, you can change the physiology of your body through your thoughts. In fact, there's a whole new field in science called that's EPI, epigenetics. EPI or epi means above in Greek. And so it means above or higher than genetics. This is an established scientific fact. So I think it's really important when you're doing a past life regression or when you're attempting to meet your spirit guide, that at least while you're doing it, you let go of this notion that somehow your imagination is going to lead you astray, that somehow your imagination is entirely faulty, and rather follow the path where it leads you, and then determine at the end of the session, when you've emerged from hypnosis, then you determine for yourself what all of this means. So think about this thought experiment for yourself. You have an 18-inch wide board, and you put that 18-inch wide board, maybe it's, 10 feet long, and you put it on the floor, and you walk across that board. Now, most people are not going to have any issue with that at all. They're going to be able to walk right across that board, perfectly wide for them to accomplish the task. But now imagine that you're 30 stories above the road, above the street, and this board is suspended between two buildings. Imagine walking across this 18-inch wide board under those circumstances. And chances are probably pretty good that most of us would actually fall off that board. And the reason is because we would be imagining the consequences of falling off that board and plunging to our death to the street below. And we'd have a lot of emotions going. And when you couple that powerful and vivid imagination with powerful emotions, those two things fused together tend to create your reality. And some people would call this the law of attraction, or they'd call it manifesting. So step out of the walnut shell of your own limitation. Stop shutting yourself down and recognize that in a very powerful way, imagination creates the contours of your life. And as always, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments section and I will do my best to answer them for you. Good luck with all of this. And if you like this content, please be sure to share it, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.